Welcome back to the Menstown Minute, everybody, where we take just a little bit more than a minute to discuss all things Menstown. Folks, before we go any farther, just want to thank all the well-wishers, all the cards I received while recovering from my unfortunate neck incident. The neck is healing fine, and I've gone through some dark times, but we're fighting through it every day. Anyways, going forward, I'd like to thank all of you. And now, without further ado, I'd like to invite my friend and colleague for one of our last Menstown show, Bud. Come on in, Bud. Hi, Bud. How are you?
Hey, good. How you holding up, pal?
Well, it's been tough, but we're fighting through it every day.
I mean, what a comeback. We're so happy to see you behind the set here again for the final shows of Menstown. Well, Mensten, I guess.
Mensten.
That was something to see, boy.
Well, I mean, the elixir you gave me really brought me to, and we'll put our best foot forward, but it's really sad to see Menstown coming to an end like this. A lot of people are deeply affected by it, including myself.
Yeah, well, let's not dwell too much on the end of Menstown, but let's celebrate what Menstown has been and what the final Menstown will be. I think there's a lot of cool things happening here, a lot going on tonight, and again, I'm just so happy to see you here back behind the camera. You doing okay?
I'm okay. It just seems to me like, you're really welcoming the end of Menstown. I don't sense any sadness coming from you at all.
Well, I think there is a triumph to it all. I see where the forefathers are going with ending on top. It ends at 10. Can be a celebration for the men. It doesn't have to be heartache. It doesn't have to be the end of the world.
No, I suppose
anyway,
you're right.
I don't want to push things too much.
But anyways, you really helped out throughout my rehabilitation. That gruel really helped me lose a little bit of weight.
I might switch to the gruel.
Well, it's not very good. It's not very good, but it is a good diuretic too, I suppose.
Can't imagine.
Yeah. Well, let's just dive right into it then, Bud.
Okay.
Enough of the schmaltz. Let's start with last year's Menstown, Bud. I mean, what an incredible finish to a wonderful weekend. I think we saw some of the best beer pong playing and holy board playing, and a really dramatic finale with Levette and Ratto coming out on top, besting Benny and Jones.
We saw a pairing of two great teams last year, the Ratto-Levette team and the Benassini-Jones tandem. And of course it came down to those two competitors, those two teams competing in the final. Jones knocking over the beer to end it all, but really they didn't stand much of a chance. That Levette-Ratto team was steamrolling through the competition.
They certainly were. Once they got going, they were hard to stop. What do you say about Benny's performance? By all accounts, a lot of people said that, from what I saw, he really didn't perform up to expectations.
He coasted through Sebastopol with Rosen. We thought he had a bit of an easy road. Since then, hey, bud. Since then, the number one player in the world has looked more like,
very pedestrian.
A player that's picked, not a player that will be picking this year. So hopefully, better days are ahead for number one, as it has been in the past.
We did see a huge outburst of anger, a temper tantrum by Todd Bugby. Care to discuss?
Well, we've had our temper rankings in the past. Obviously, Bugby's been right up there. Him and Jones and Spencer Wood, the top three tempers.
Yeah, but this was
something
meltdown for the ages.
We have seen paddles thrown.
Tommy Lasorda don't know.
We've seen men almost coming to blows.
Yeah.
But a question over sobriety really pushed Bugby over the edge. Turned a table over. The cup went flying. It was a dicey
Well,
situation.
that was an interesting controversy. Apparently, folks in the finals were not even slightly intoxicated.
Well, not true. I did see the breathalyzer come out for the finals. They were the men were had to blow into the breathalyzer. They did pass. They all passed and were able to perform, and it was a legitimate title.
Really? Well, I think you'll probably have a few detractors there. Food situation got solved this time. There was a lot of food there, and I don't think any of the men went hungry.
Plenty of food. I think plenty of food was brought. I don't know if everything was prepared to the men's liking. There was a bit of a bloody carcass at one point that.
Well, men should love red
pictures
meat.
have been passed around.
Rare red meat.
They do.
Well,
it's not that kind of Menstown. But it was a bloody carcass. Tasty at some portions of it, but overall food was okay.
Yeah, I know that Tomasini made a wonderful vat of turkey stew that didn't even get touched.
He did spend some time on that stew, and I think it just stewed the whole weekend.
It certainly did.
It certainly did.
All right, well, and to wrap it up, obviously it's become a bit of a tradition. There was a Dom Jenga competition, and I think I saw some of the pictures. We've seen Dom Jenga become this sport. Just quick, we've been covering Menstown for a while.
Yeah.
What's the most impressive Dom Jenga you've seen so far?
Oh, this past year was the most impressive
Really?
Dom Jenga. I remember coming outside and coming in through the glass doors, and I could see this structure.
Yes.
A man's head kind of crouched over. He's sitting on a bar stool, completely stone passed out.
Unbelievable.
And the structure goes, 1.5 feet or so off of his head. I can't even remember the objects. There's things balancing.
Yeah.
He's got everything on his shoulder. And he's buried under this thing with his poor neck down. It's a beautiful sight.
It is. It's what Leaning Tower of Pisa has got nothing on this,
These men could be pretty wicked at that operation.
They can. Well, it requires a lot of skill and strategy, and no one wants to be the one to have it all fall down. All right, let's wrap up this segment here, bud. So, can we look forward to Holy Boards being the deciding game next year? Last year it was, it was beer pong. Very exciting.
Yeah.
But the year before that was Holy Boards.
Yeah.
Holy Boards again in the finals this year. Is it going to rotate?
In our opinion, the best final ever in Twainhart, where Holy Boards decided it. The porpoises in the tub.
Yeah.
The Maloney 2.5s had an amazing final. Last year, a little underwhelming with the cup spillage. There was a good matchup. The matchup you wanted.
It was all the preliminary excitement was there.
Yeah. This year, I think it worked last year, though. I think the Holy Boards were the loser bracket in the playoffs. That got you back into the beer pong to decide it. I liked the system. They probably will stay with it, but it's to be determined.
I hope they do the opposite. I think Holy Boards really provides the classic drama that people are looking for, especially with Menstown 10. And I will be a vocal advocate for Holy Boards to wrap up this Menstown.
Well, and also depending on location, Bocce could make a comeback this year as a third event.
Bocce.
So we'll see where we're going when the votes are revealed.
I know. No, this is exciting, folks. But before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and show us the rankings for this year, 2015.
Wow.
Any changes? You expected any major changes from last year?
I expect a few big moves.
Care to speculate?
Well, yeah, I think Levet was pushed from 3 down to 5 last year, and I think he'll probably move back up with his second cup. Question is where Ratto will go. Coming in at 13 last year, wins his first cup, but not a lot of success other than that. We'll see where that puts him. Probably somewhere in the top 8.
Really? That means someone's got to fall out.
And someone's got to fall. I think it's going to be either Hilligus or Spencer Wood. That's the big question. Who's going to be picking and who's going to be a pickee?
Really? Well, wow. Well, this is exciting, folks. I'm going to send it right after you, but this segment was brought to you by Radio Shack Transistor Radios. You can listen to it all day, all night, just 2 batteries needed. So drop by and get yours. So this
today.
is the moment all you men have been waiting for. The official Men's 10 rankings coming right at you. Enjoy.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end of our elaborate plans. The end of everything that stands. The end, no safety or surprise. The end, I'll never look into your eyes again. Can you picture what will be? So limitless and free, desperately in need of some stranger's hand in a desperate land. Come on, baby.
We're back, everybody. And what'd you think of those rankings? That was something else. Just as you predicted, a lot of the same things.
By a couple of slots, I might have been off, but I think everything happened as I thought. Levette takes back number 3, and
Huge.
Maloney Reyes just kind of moved down. Rosen stays where he is, and the big one is Kevin Ratto leapfrogging.
Yeah, wow. What a
13-7.
huge job by Rattle. Great job. I'm glad to see him get recognized. We're all real happy at the office, the production office for Kevin. I mean, long time coming for the guy, He's been a competitor, and, his due is coming, and all that hard work has paid off. But probably controversies with regards to the Spencer Wood falls out of the top 8.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt.
I think there was maybe a little scorn last year that the forefathers felt when Spencer pulled out a couple days prior to Menstown and didn't show up.
You think that affected?
I can't say for sure. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We hope they're running, a process that's consistent. But I had Hillegas falling to 9. I was wrong. They've pushed Wood down, and Hillegas remains in the top 8 once again.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So,
Well, I know, knowing Mr. Wood, he will not take this lightly.
no.
Now, and nothing really changes at the bottom of the rankings.
No, everyone just kind of shoves down.
Yeah.
And we see the return of Del Sano, and he just slides back into where he's comfortable at number 16.
Number 60.
So I think the draft is going to be interesting this year. Now you've got a little bit of meat there with Spencer Wood.
You do.
Figuratively and literally. He'll be there, and he'll be a nice pick for somebody maybe in one of those first 2 slots.
And there's always Jones. He just hasn't managed to break on through to the other side. He contributes, he yells, he gets angry, and he just doesn't win.
A lot
he hasn't won
of
yet.
men at Menstown in that room, especially in that holy board room where we were surprised, thought that Jones outplayed his teammate Benassini, who obviously is the number 1 player in the world.
Well,
and carried him quite a bit in some of those matches.
yes, and that's been the rub on Benassini lately in the last few years, is that he's just not been playing quality beer pong and holy board.
Yeah.
Real quickly regarding Mr. Benassini, obviously he hasn't won in a while.
Well, he won.
A
He
couple
did
years
win
ago,
Sebastopol. Yeah, he had that
that
what
was
they
the-
call the easy road.
Yeah, the
Okay.
cup tipping over and all that stuff.
Well, yeah.
Is he solidified as the #1 Menstown player of all time?
Well, I think that'll be a question, and I think we'll dive into that maybe next show when we talk about the Hall of Fame and what the finality of this men's 10 means. But I have my own questions about whether if Benassini loses again in a Clay or a Levette, or I don't know about Maloney, but can one of those guys overtake him in the final rankings and walk away with a #1 seed forever?
Interesting. Anybody in the bottom 8 you think could come out really hot and show people a different side, a different type? Maybe it's a Phil, maybe a Bugby.
I'd like to see what the off season has done for these guys, and we'll see that first night into the second day, and that's what the guys at the top will be noticing and studying. But
one player
at this point, I didn't see a whole lot of difference last year. Some improvement, but
Well,
nothing that I see is going to give them the big leap, other than the top couple of players there.
I think, one player to always keep an eye on is the Dominic Tomasini. Wow, that guy, again, saddled with a rather rotten partner in Dom Hilligus, carried the weight, and the team advanced pretty far. That Dominic Tomasini is a horse I'd ride.
I thought that team overachieved. They ended up with, I think, a 6 seed going into the playoffs. But by the time the playoffs arrived, they just started to fall off the holy boards, completely hammerjacked.
I don't think that was the case at all, from what I heard.
And it was a complete mess.
Very well. Well, moving on. This is the reason why we're here, folks. And I really forgot to lead the show with it. This is the Menstown location picking party.
Well,
all the men have been asked to submit a vote. And we have placed all their votes. It's been confidential. The only person who knows about it are the forefathers. Or if they do know about it. I don't even think they know about it.
Well,
I don't even know where the votes have been. All I know is that I don't know about it. So we're going to draw out of this little Menstown cup here with not scrolls, but little pieces of paper with the names, men's choices. And as you can see here, up here, we have all the different locations, the 9 locations. And but just real quick side point, me and you, we've been covering Menstown. What's for 10 years now, or 9 years, I guess. What's been your favorite spot to cover?
Well, so many great locations. I'm going to go with Twainhart. I think with that tournament that we had, with the fun we had down in the nightlife in downtown.
Yeah, you went out and partied with the competitors afterwards.
Just a beautiful, getting $20 massages from the locals.
Really, yeah.
Just a beautiful place. Twainhart was a remarkable location.
It is so beautiful.
A lot of fond memories
so
there.
Beautiful. My favorite was Pismo Beach. I loved it. That's when I first got to see how competitive Menstown could be, and the real love that those men showed for each other. And things got a little greasy. People got wet and whatever. But just sitting there watching these men come together for the tournament was fantastic.
Funny to think, only 6 competitors back then in Pismo Beach, and these days
a lot has changed over
playing
the years.
with 16.
Certainly, the
quite a
weight
full
from
deck.
championships and those aren't the same, I suppose.
I gotta quickly mention, it's really a landmark day. A lot of men, you hear things talked about at Menstown. The forefathers have always been considered a bit of an oligarchy. Whoever's calling the shots, possible dictatorship. I was surprised that they did ask the men to vote on this final location, and showing a little bit of democracy here.
Sure. No. Well,
I wasn't expecting that.
that has been a major rift. And one of the reasons why I took it so hard. With the neck and all, just. The forefathers really, and those that side with forefathers, aren't very democratically thinking. We have here in the bylaws, Menstown bylaws, that there are certain things that need to get run through the men, and when people just try to use executive action and vetoes and just override, and then what we have is a centralized
Well, shall we get to
top-down
the
Menstown.
picks
And
here?
it's just not fair.
Shall we get to the picks here? What do you say?
Yeah, let's
I
do
can't
that.
wait. This
Let's
is
do
like
that.
a kid at Christmas.
All right, so how
it's
does
like Christmas has come twice this year.
Ho, ho, ho.
Well, without any further ado,
And our first vote here is Clay, number 2 player in the world. We use a red pen,
to signify?
and he votes Stinson Beach.
Ooh, Stinson Beach.
You want to pull the next one,
Yeah,
pal?
I'll do it. Why
Okay.
not? You know.
Go.
And we got Maloney, the number. Let's see,
Whoa.
the number 4 player in the world.
That's right.
And he chooses Occidental, which is Sebastopol.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Sebastopol. What a
Really,
fun location that was.
That was a lot of fun. That was a good bocce location. I remember the men frolicking out in the forest, throwing bocce balls for hours at a
What
time.
a wonderful time out in those woods. Bugby is going to be voting. He is a red marker.
No, he's a
Sorry, black
black
marker.
marker. Black marker.
Bugby wants to go back to Reno.
What? Reno.
Bugby with a bit of a gambling problem.
Yeah, he does.
Loves any excuse to get back to gambling.
Yeah,
country.
you know, it's like who needs a tournament when you have a casino right there? And up
Dig in.
next, ooh, here's another
Another bottom 8?
Another bottom 8
Okay.
at 13. DT chooses
Oh.
Timber Cove.
Oh,
Wow.
returning from Menstown
Timber
9. He wants
Cove
to go
was
back.
A lot of fun.
Someone wants to go back where
Nice
he came from.
jacuzzi. And I felt
Wow.
comfortable there. But I know a screen door that didn't feel so comfortable.
Number 5 ranked player in the world, Paul Reyes. He wants to go back to Pismo.
Pismo.
In fact, his first time at Pismo. He hasn't been to Pismo. He didn't go to that first. Paul
Really?
Reyes' first Menstown was an epic Reno,
Yeah,
where he
well,
missed the train and had to fly home.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Up next, let's have a quick little look-see. Ooh, this is a newbie red.
Ooh.
Kevin Ratto chooses
Oh, welcome to the red
Occidental.
country, Kevin
That would be
Ratto.
Sebastopol.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 votes. The leader now, Sebastopol.
I seem to
A
remember
popular location. I remember.
Ratto
that.
and DTs were partners at Sebastopol.
I broke the Bugby DT cycle.
Yeah, and
for
Ratto
years.
really didn't step up. That was too bad.
Number 1 player in the world. He wants to go back to where it all started. Pismo for him.
Pismo Beach.
His
What is it
first
about
cup
Pismo?
was won at Pismo.
I loved it.
And dune buggies were ridden. Great time at Pismo.
Yeah, well,
6 men.
6 men. Oh, here we go again. Right back to it. Oh, well, this man. This man.
We're gonna break this
never
tie
did,
here at 2.
uh,
We got another vote for Stinson Beach.
BJ, our
Wow,
15th
BJ.
ranked player, wants to go to Stinson Beach.
Okay,
Well, good for
okay.
him.
DJ is not
Maybe
been to
he'll have
Stinson
more
Beach.
luck there, you know.
Okay. And we've got
He
a new bottom 8 player, Spencer Wood.
Yeah.
He wants to
No.
go back.
Black, my friend, black.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Black.
Yeah, Spencer, you're not in the red.
He wants to go to one of his favorites, Boulder Creek.
Ooh, Boulder Creek.
First vote for Boulder Creek.
Oh, there were some memories there. How about kicking a football off of a 50-foot high cliff?
The football launching.
Jeez.
Eventually, the football was lost by Jones. I
Yes,
think.
it was. But I do seem to remember that he did replay
He
Paul
did
Reyes.
replay. You know, the men are not without integrity.
And here is another newbie, somewhat newbie, Phil McCauley, ranked 14th. He wants
Which is he moved up in that. He moved up over BJ this year.
he wants to go to Reno.
He wants to
You know?
go to Reno.
But I think he wants to go there for the booby bars.
He likes the,
He
the
loves
boobies.
going to the booby
Nothing
bar.
wrong
you
with
know?
a little bit of that. What do you call that? Motorboat?
Yeah. Tune Tokyo.
Adam Rosen, the place where he won a cup, would be Occidental.
Occidental,
Sebastopol.
wow.
Now your leader with 3 votes.
This is exciting.
And Sebastopol
I love
starting to
Sebastopol.
pull away here.
Yeah, this is great. This
Let's
is
pull
great.
another one.
Well, here we go.
We're getting
Coming
down the
next.
wire here.
A man who's always fighting but just can't seem to fight his way to a victory.
Ah.
Mark Samerson, our 11th
One of
race
our more
competitor,
passionate players.
he wants to go to Stinson Beach.
Whoa, and then it's tied up.
He
Sebastopol
did go to
and
Stinson Beach,
Stinson
didn't he? That was his
I
first
think
Menstown.
that might have been his first Menstown.
Wow.
He
He was
that.
uber
That was the
competitive.
first year beer pong came into play.
Yeah. We had
What a
all those-
historic.
And I seem to remember there was a little wrestling match at the end of it too.
Indeed.
You know, a couple
Injuries,
players, couple of guys
tough
a couple of the men got injured. Little nicks.
And last year's champion, Lavette, voting for a return to where he just won a cup, Timber Cove.
Whoa!
And Timber Cove starting to
Interesting.
creep up here with 2 votes.
Timber Cove.
Just a wonderful
I
place.
love it. I love it there. And one more. How about this fella? He's in the black.
Okay.
He's always fighting again. Damian Jones wants to go to Timber Cove too.
Oh,
Ah.
wow.
Maybe because it's like 10 miles from his house, but who knows?
So here's where we stand. We've got 2 votes left. And we've got a 3-way tie here. Stinson Beach, Sebastopol, and Timber Cove. So if one of these 2 men vote for one of these locations, we might know where we're going here in a second.
This is really interesting. I hope people chose wisely.
I'm going to pull the next one here and see if it can break the tie. 3-way tie, not broken.
What is it?
Delsano, number 16 in the world, he votes for Reno.
Oh, that would be
We
fun.
now have ourselves a 4-way tie between Reno, Stinson Beach, Sebastopol, and Timber Cove.
Jeez.
And we have Hilligus to vote.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
a
did
guy
he
that
vote?
was worried about dropping into the bottom 8, he remains in the top 8, and it's his vote that will determine where we're going and possibly break this tie, or we might have a bit of a problem.
Yeah, we might, because Hilly goes way off the reservation. He chooses Twain Hart.
Oh my lord. Okay, we've got ourselves a 4-way tie. And we're not really sure what we've got to do here.
Well, we gotta probably want to check the bylaws.
All right, let's
because
check
I
the
think there's
bylaws.
a certain, I think it was a 401c5.
It's probably some sort of executive order that
Section
comes into play
9
here.
states, you see right here, bud, it says, in case of this kind of tie, where it's been a democratically, a secret ballot, all those places would then be re-put back on the ballot. People would quorum, and they would decide, and then we would have a clear winner.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Well, I think that's the way
forefathers would use that kind of
That's the
language.
way I've interpreted
Let me
it.
take
You
a
know,
look.
it's just a standard runoff election.
No, but it says.
But it clearly states
says-
here in
yes,
the interest
it
of
says
democracy.
that the
this is the
forefathers-
problem that we've had before.
The forefathers will make the decision to break any tie of a democratic process.
No. Then
Including, it says including a re-vote. But it doesn't say that is their. It says that sounds like it's a potential decision they could have.
Well, why don't we just get them on the phone and we'll
Let's
solve
get 'em on
this,
the
you know?
phone and-
I don't even know why the forefathers. You know, the men are doing this on their own. This is a democracy, not a...
Why don't we take a break and we'll get the forefathers on the phone and we'll come back with the final
Sorry,
decision.
well, I'm looking at the Menstown bylaws as we speak. In Article 4, Section 8, Code 132, clearly states that in case of a tie vote amongst the men, that it would then be recast for a secondary election, another secret ballot, where we would eliminate all the others. And the men would quorum, and then they would, find consensus. So, you don't understand. Yes, you can talk to Bud.
Yes, sir. Yeah, right. No, I don't know. Right. Yeah, 4-way tie. Reno, Stinson Beach, Sebastopol, Timber Cove. Right. only Boulder Creek, Twain Hart, each a vote, and then Pismo had the 2. So 4-way tie, Reno, Stinson Beach, Twain Hart, Timber Cove. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
See,
Okay.
I'm right. I'm right. See?
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna revote.
Thank you.
We're gonna revote. Done. See, am I right, bud?
Okay, the forefathers have used their executive order, and I will now reveal the location for Mensten.
But wait. What do you mean? Clear Lake?
We're going back to Clear Lake!
Clear Lake? Clearly Lake?
Mensten! Can you believe it?
But this is not.
This is
not
a
only-
phenomenal. I mean, the forefathers never cease to amaze
What have
me.
they? Bud, what is going on here?
Look, I mean, it was a 4-way tie. He explained to me that in this instance, it's an executive order decision.
But the bylaws
The
don't.
forefathers stated it's their call, and nobody voted on Clear Lake, and there it is.
Such
We're going to Clear Lake.
bullshit.
What a beautiful place
You know what?
that was.
No.
I
remember Clear
I'm
Lake.
really happy with this.
I remember some players had a really
Beautiful
tough time at
place.
Clear Lake.
What a
Clear Lake is
beautiful
haunted.
place Clear Lake is.
This is
And
not.
I think you're going to need to get over it, pal, because Mensten is starting in a month, and Clear Lake is calling.
No, I don't know if I like working with you anymore, bud.
Hey, all right.
I don't know if I
enough.
like this.
Enough with this.
You've always
Forefathers are the final decision.
Getting
here.
on your knees with the daggone forefathers. What about the men? This is the show is about the men.
You know what?
It's
I've
not-
had a bit of enough of all this with you. It's the gruel, it's the stabbing of your throat, and now it's some conspiracy theory. The forefathers have spoken. Clear Lake.
Fuck you. You don't swear you're an imperialist. Get out of my way.
Get out of here! I've had it with you.
Turn that thing off. Turn it off.
Thank you, everybody, for tonight. Again, really excited about Men's 10. Final Menstown. It ends at 10 at Clear Lake. February 5th, Menstown gates open. We'll see you next time for the draft order selection show. What are you doing here? I thought you stormed out.
This isn't over.
And we will see you next time for the draft order selection show. And then it's on to Menstown Clear Lake. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night.